Welcome, history buffs and mystery lovers. Today, we're diving deep into a story that proves even the quietest towns can hide the darkest secrets. Let's travel back to 1903 to the seemingly peaceful town of Oakhaven. Here, life moved at a gentle pace, and at the heart of its financial world was a man named Thomas Whitaker. To everyone, Thomas was the picture of respectability, the town's most trusted banker, a pillar of the community. But beneath that polished exterior was a restless ambition, a hunger for power and wealth that would soon lead him down a treacherous path. One foggy evening, the clinking glasses and boisterous laughter of the town tavern, the gilded mug, concealed a meeting that would change Oakhaven forever. Thomas, slipping away from his usual circles, sat in a dark corner with a group of shadowy figures. These weren't his usual clients. They were powerful industrialists, their faces obscured by the dim light, their whispers sharp and cold. A pact was made, a deal sealed not with a handshake, but with a silent, chilling agreement. The conversation hinted at an obstacle that needed to be removed, a man who knew too much. The price of their partnership was a life. Thomas, blinded by the promise of immense profit and influence, agreed. He had just become a conspirator in a future murder. The very next morning, the town awoke to horrifying news. The body of Elias Vance, a tenacious local journalist, had been discovered by the riverbank. Vance was known for his courage, for his relentless investigation into the town's growing industrial corruption. Panic spread through Oakhaven like wildfire. For Thomas, the news hit like a physical blow. The abstract discussion in the tavern had become a brutal reality. He saw Vance's name in the newspaper headlines and felt a cold dread wash over him. This was the man they had talked about. His first instinct was to go to the authorities, to confess, but fear paralyzed him. He was in too deep. His silence was his first step in protecting himself, and in doing so, he chose to protect the killers. As the days turned into weeks, the investigation into Vance's murder intensified. The local constable, a determined man named Alastair Finch, left no stone unturned. Every question he asked, every witness he interviewed, felt like a step closer to Thomas. The pressure was immense. During the day, Thomas had to maintain his calm, respectable facade, greeting his clients with a steady smile while his heart hammered against his ribs. At night, he was haunted by nightmares, the face of Elias Vance accusing him from the shadows. He saw the grief in the eyes of Vance's family and the growing fear among the townsfolk. His guilt was a constant, gnawing companion. He was trapped between his ambition and his crumbling conscience, living a double life that was tearing him apart. To protect the conspiracy and his own skin, Thomas had to become an active participant in the cover-up. His role was crucial. The industrialists needed him to manipulate the town's financial records to hide their illegal activities, the very corruption that Vance had been on the verge of exposing. With trembling hands, Thomas began to falsify ledgers, create phantom accounts, and erase any paper trail that could connect the industrialists to the motive for the murder. He burned documents in the dead of night, the flames reflecting the destruction of his own integrity. Each forged signature, each altered number, was another brick in the wall he was building around himself, a wall of lies that was becoming his prison. He had gone from a silent conspirator to an essential accomplice. Meanwhile, Constable Finch felt he was hitting a dead end. The powerful men Thomas was protecting were untouchable, their alibis ironclad. But Finch had a hunch, a gut feeling that the truth lay hidden within the town's finances. He decided to conduct a discreet, unofficial audit of the bank's records, focusing on the accounts of the industrialists. Late one night, while poring over old files in the bank's dusty archive, his fingers brushed against a loose floorboard beneath a heavy cabinet. Prying it open, he found what he was looking for, a small, hidden ledger. It was Thomas's secret record, a detailed account of the illicit transactions he had made for his partners. This was the breakthrough. The ledger didn't just expose financial crimes. It painted a clear motive for Vance's murder and pointed a heavy finger of suspicion directly at the town's most respected banker. With the evidence in hand, the constable's investigation closed in on Thomas. The game was up. Knowing he was cornered, and perhaps seeking a sliver of redemption, Thomas made a decision that would stun Oakhaven to its core. The following Sunday, he stood before the entire town gathered at the central square. His voice, usually so confident and reassuring, trembled as he began to speak. He confessed everything. He detailed the pact made in the tavern, the reasons behind the murder of Elias Vance, and the elaborate cover-up he had helped orchestrate. He named the powerful men involved, exposing the rot that had taken root beneath the town's peaceful surface. The crowd listened in stunned silence, their shock turning to anger and betrayal. The man they had trusted with their savings and their futures was a criminal. The aftermath of Thomas's confession was swift and dramatic. The industrialists were arrested, their empires of influence crumbling overnight. Thomas Whitaker, the once esteemed banker, was sentenced to a long prison term, trading his lavish home for a cold, stone cell. Oakhaven was left to pick up the pieces, its innocence shattered. The town slowly began to heal, but the story of Thomas Whitaker became a cautionary tale, a permanent scar on its history. It served as a stark reminder that secrets, no matter how deeply buried, have a way of coming to light, and that corruption can fester even in the most unlikely of places, forever changing the lives it touches. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another dive into the hidden corners of history. We'll see you in the next video.